Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. David Schwartz is back with a dream scenario. Yeah, you're going to like it. I love it. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, it is $1.73 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off by 0.1%. 43,000 plus for Bitcoin, 2,300 plus for Ethereum, 96.1 billion plus for Tether market cap. XRP's 51 cents, ladies and gentlemen, and we are up 3.8 on the 24-hour and off by 1.9 on the 7-day. Range of price very quickly did dip down to 0.4989 and ranging as high as 0.5261. We're sitting at 0.5196. That's where we're at. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't done it, we're now 89 days away, 13 hours and counting until XRP Las Vegas. I tell you what, David Schwartz is going to be on stage. Do you think he's got a lot to talk about and say? What do you think he's going to talk about? Automated market makers, clawbacks, smart contract. The list goes on, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be an incredible opportunity to hear David talk about some things that are going to be brand new to the XRP ledger, as well as so many other incredible guests that are participating and sponsors. Make sure you go to xrplasvegas.com, click the link below, get your ticket. VIP is going to sell out very quickly. Now, before we move through the rest of this information, and this information today is absolute fire, by the way, you're going to love it, and so is this. Let's keep in mind here as John Deaton touches on potential settlement, remedies, and appeal. And I just want to highlight inside of this that he says basically here, if you go into this, he says, I don't think there are any talks for settlement right now. There's still scorched earth litigation, even in the remedies stage. But then he went on to say here, the settlements can still happen in the future. Additionally, he pointed out that the SEC can still initiate a settlement if it believes it can get more from Ripple through a settlement than from what the judge could rule. There's your measure right there. So now this is going to come down to where we're at now. Does the SEC believe if they hold out for the judge's ruling that it would be a more favorable ruling for them than to settle? I'm starting to think where things are, that may be a settlement over the judge, because we have continually seen the SEC lose in other cases, recently the debt box case, right, where they're losing legal ground to stand on. And we know that they've been called out all the way up to this point. So this does get very interesting. Another interesting point about this article and John Deaton's comments here is he talks about the idea that you could see Ripple literally end up paying less than they spent for their own legal defense. That's insane. If that doesn't show you what a bully the SEC is, I don't know what does, to be perfectly honest. Then this here from Bill Morgan, who highlights to keep in mind here, February 12th is the next window to watch out for, a key date for the case of the SEC versus Ripple, which is when the parties are expected to complete all remedies-related discovery. So we're just, 9 days away from that. Along these lines, a pivotal ruling on the SEC's motion to compel Ripple to produce certain financial information might shape events. So that could let us know whether the SEC is going to lean into some kind of a settlement or whether they're going to forge forward and hope that the judge gives them a favorable ruling. I don't know. It hasn't been favorable for the SEC so far, right? So we shall see. One thing's for sure is they will take it to the 11th hour. That's what they do. Now, I want you to listen to this clip here as Swift ISO 20022 global implementations will make XRP holders millionaires, says High Vibe. We know XRP operates as a currency on the Swift blockchain. Also, ISO 20022 complement. Everything we've heard about XRP in the past is coming true. Well, listen to this as it talks about the financial system and where we're going here. Payments.
Okay. However, there's a lot of things coming just literally right round the corner. We already have Fed now, we're going to have SWIFT mandates, we're going to have SEPA Inst. There is just going to be a lot, just in the payments arena, not necessarily just the whole of FS, but in the payments arena, there's a lot that's going to start to happen. And the issue that we have there is actually when we have these dates, they always get tighter towards the end. Well, 2024 and 2025 is going to be the years we're going to have to do it. We already have 76 ISO 20022 clearings out there. However, we're now getting mandates, we're now getting industry change. As you say, it is the tipping point when next year, 2024, we're going to get busy with ISO 20022. Frankly, whether we like it or not.
Okay.
Restructuring of it, it really is very deep. Payments, I'm a payments guy, but payments is not the be all and end all of banking, and it's just part of it. But all the other systems that are inside of the bank need to talk to the payment system. If you will, it's the bit in the very heart of it. So those things need to change too. Otherwise, you're just putting a layer, and you could argue you're just putting lipstick on a pig. And that's not what anybody wants to do. It might be what they have to do, but it's not what they really want to do. So it is effectively anything that touches payments needs to get changed. And I think the way to fix that in many ways is to automate. And the issue that we have here is effectively the testing and the validation of an ISO project. 30 to 50% of that is just in the testing piece. Well, if we could automate that, then you're going to save yourself an awful lot of time and get those people customer facing.
This is where we're going, and in short order is what this gentleman is telling us, because payments is his business. 2024 is going to be an incredible year, according to what he just said. Now, I hope you're following that, because this is where we're going. Remember, this is happening behind the scenes while we're seeing all of this positioning and posturing by the financial players of the world to begin to take advantage of this new technology inside of their business models and payment flows. XRP users to benefit from automated market makers on Corium as Corium plans launch of the XRP Ledger Bridge. And don't you know we're going to have people from Corium on stage at XRP Las Vegas to tell you all about it. Oh, you're going to want to know about it. I've been hip to Corium for a year or two. Super excited about what Corium's going to be doing. We covered this yesterday. This was Oliver Segovia, Senior Director, Head of Product Marketing at Ripple, ex-Coinbase and Google Pay guy. And he says, we're excited to wrap up January with fresh updates from Ripple. I'll pin this in two simple categories. Building and growing. Building, 90% of our business is outside the United States after being relatively quiet for the past 3 years in the United States for Ripple payments. We're geared up to announce new product updates powered by our money transmitter license known as MTLs that cover the majority of the U.S. states. How about that? Then there was this, a recent clip of David Schwartz, and this has always been the reason why I'm here. I know the world and the United States need a solution to the current monetary crisis. Take a listen.
One of the crazy success outcomes that I could see is I could see a place where the United States says, look, the dollar is not going to be able to hold on to its position of dominance, but we'd rather whatever becomes the sort of next dominant settlement, unit, not be something controlled by Russia or China or a geopolitical rival. You could almost see them deciding that a cryptocurrency was a less bad outcome for them. And it may be that there's no geopolitical entity that's strong enough to take over the role that the United States had. And so maybe they decide on some neutral asset. I don't know. You can dream, right?
You're damn right you can dream, David Schwartz. And you know what? This was very similar to a conversation I had with David Schwartz in 2019 in Singapore. And it was an open conversation. There was nothing, less than professional disgust. You know what I mean? It was just the idea of this macro understanding of why XRP is here, why it's being introduced to the world. Another caption of David Schwartz and his dream scenario. My dream scenario is Swift makes a deal with Ripple where all the banks get to use RippleNet for free, maybe even paying Swift. Fits our XRP strategy perfectly. Then there's this from about a year ago. You know what the funny thing is I don't hear all these asshole crypto Twitter trolls attacking David for saying much the same thing that aligns with my philosophy since before I was even a friggin' YouTuber. I don't hear them chasing him down and telling him he doesn't have the right to discuss that idea. Oh, it's too big, David. You're not allowed to do that. I didn't know if you were allowed to do that. Yeah, the crypto Twitter police, they don't approve of this kind of talk, David. I don't know if you know that. But I know they give you a pass. I love it because, listen, there's the bottom up and the top down. And as I have said multiple times, neither one is the golden strategy. Both are necessary. And what is required to make either strategy, bottom up, top down, successful is legislative clarity. Period. Full stop. Give us that, and then let's watch and see what people and businesses decide to do. Take a listen.
Like a threat to dollar dominance, for example. Like if there was some credible threat to dollar dominance, like that, like I know it's kind of a fantasy here, but like if there was some other country, you know, let's say a large country like, you know, China or Russia that like implemented some system that was some sort of threat to dollar dominance, then you could see the United States responding. You know, if they thought that a technological solution was the best solution, they'd probably, you would see a priority that you wouldn't see under any other scenario, despite their natural conservatism.
And there you have it. And what happened 2 days ago? Saudi Arabia officially joined the BRICS coalition, which means we told you to take your petrodollar agreement and go fly a kite with it. If that scenario continues to play out, it will, as I see where I'm sitting, it will require a huge liquidity injection to the XRP ledger and the DEX. And one of the quickest ways to do that is to use the DTCC and the newly acquired security that's now called digital assets as a part of the DTCC and start to inject the liquidity of huge volume and settlement of assets and derivatives. Listen to CEO Graham Rodford, what he said at the most recent November Swell conference, just recent 2023 here, just a couple months ago. 30 to 50 trillion on the XRP ledger by 2025, he believes.
50 trillion, all on XRP, all trading on Artex. Here we go. Find my original projections, but the total market is 1.4 quadrillion, everything that's ever out there. And if you start looking across any of those asset classes, they're all starting to move on-chain already. And the ease with which we've seen people interested in money market funds, tokenized treasuries, and those types of instruments, the support for stable coins, when you're talking about replacing cash, when I see DTCC, Euroclear, Clearstream, you know, it only takes one of them to flip onto natively digital, and that's truly...
It only takes one of them to flip on native digital, where they're just natively settling in digital assets. Because the payment systems are coexisting. They're running parallel to one another. That's what he understands. And it'll just take one of those big entities to do that, and all of a sudden the liquidity flow, just like railroad tracks changing from going right to left. Once the tracks change, it's on. That's where we are, and we've been here. And people get frustrated and come up with these false narratives. They come up with these false watermarks in their head. I believe the price should have moved when the case settled. I believe the price should have moved when this was approved. I believe the clawbacks or the automated market makers are, why didn't the price move? Why didn't the price move? Why didn't the price move? We don't have legislative clarity. Have you seen the banks start using it? in the United States, then it's the same damn answer we're looking for. I know it's frustrating, but let's be clear. We're not crazy. We're still waiting for the same thing. When we get it is when I can make a really informed decision about what's going to happen or not. It's not until then. But I ran the 30 trillion out of the 30 to 50 trillion that we just heard mentioned there. And shout out to XRP LHQ. Shout out to Trey. And I set this at 30 trillion for total estimated daily transaction volume. Store of value, I put at 30. Circulating supply at 50. I hit calculate. It's a $2,820.69 XRP. Now, you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to take this as an extreme and say, you know what? Let's assume that guy is completely way off. And I'm going to move it to 1 trillion in store of value and 1 trillion in daily transactional volume. 50 billion supply. I haven't changed a thing over here. It was in the default settings. It still is. Let's hit calculate. That's a $94.02 XRP. Now, I don't know about either one of you, but if we don't hit the 30 to 50 trillion by 2025 and we're at 1 trillion, are you going to call this a failure? Because you won't do it at my house. You won't be welcome here. That's why when I see targets like $5, $8, $13, $27, yes, I have plans to enjoy some profits at some of those price points. But what I am here for is the integration of this asset inside of the financial system. And it hasn't happened yet. It's doing it outside of the U.S. I want to see the adoption inside the entire financial system. I want to see that there's absolute clarity. The OCC, the SEC, and no other agency is stepping in between and saying, not so fast, not just yet. Let me see the open free market, regulated free market using this asset, and then we'll talk. Because I believe that is really all we've been waiting on. I hope you will join us in the Freedom Zone, ladies and gentlemen. DigPerspectives.com. If you want to support the channel, you can do it for almost next to nothing. We're very grateful for every one of you. No doubt about it. It's growing like crazy inside of there. Make sure you click the link underneath or just go to digperspectives.com and come on in. It's the Freedom Zone. We're going in right now. I'll catch all of you on the next one. Not financial advice from me or anyone else.